Hi, my name is Jamie Mackenzie, and I'm a Diamond Leader with Young Living, and I'm really honored to have been asked to spend a little bit of time with you today talking about vision, talking about what it is, why it's important, why we need to take the time to focus on crafting a vision so that when things might throw us a little kink, a little bump in the road, a spike strip, a pothole, something along the way that kind of throws us off, that we are able to come back to center and ground and remember why we are here doing what we're doing. All right, so I want to give you a little flow of what we're going to be talking about. I'll tell you a little bit about my own journey. Some of you already may know it. And then we're going to get into a little exercise that is going to help you really craft a vision. So today's flow, what is a vision? We're going to talk about what that is. We're going to talk about the importance of casting out a vision, a very, very solidified vision for so many areas of our life. I'm going to take you through that exercise. We're going to talk about how visions change and evolve over time and what they might look like. And then we will talk about some of the potholes, speed bumps, spike strips, and detours, the obstacles that can come up. All right. And then at the end, I'm really big on a call to action. There will be something that I'm going to ask you to actually do. Because when we attend events like this and we invest our time and we pay for a ticket and we show up, we can sit and watch things like this for hours and hours. It's about actually taking the time then to get into activity and do what we were thinking about that actually starts to have an impact on our lives and the lives of others. Okay, so quick little introduction. Again, my name is Jamie Mackenzie. I live north of Boston, Massachusetts, in Andover, Massachusetts, a small little town. I have a husband, Matthew, who is alongside with me in this wellness business journey, and we've been loving every minute of it. 3 kids, they're 11, 8, and 6 now. They keep us busy. And especially during this odd time, our family has really been forced to spend a lot more time together than usual. And all I can say is I'm extremely grateful for my oils because we've been using a lot of them. So when I first was introduced to the business side of Young Living, I was already dabbling in natural products and natural options. But when my friend came to me and said, would you like to do the business with me? I'm going to share something with you. The first thing I said to her was no. I told her no, because like maybe many of you, I had some lack of belief around this business model. I had heard some things, I had been told some things, I had read some things. And so I just didn't think it was like a legit way. And I think there was some stigma that I had attached to it. Well, she came back about a month or two, several maybe months later. And she said, Jamie, I just want to share with you. I have been just loving what I'm using. And I'm starting to share with friends. And this is what's happening. And so when she shared that with me, I did start to dream a little bit. So she then shared the income disclosure statement with me. And we looked at that together. And I said, is this real? Like, is this something that you really, really people do? And so it's important that you do take a look at the income disclosure statement. My results may not end up being your results. And so it's important to remember that as you are starting to share Young Living with others, and if you have a vision for this really creating change in your life and in others, it's really important to remember that this is a real profession. And so if you're deciding to take this to, silver, gold, platinum, and beyond, diamond, crown diamond, royal crown diamond, this is not one of those just, okay, 2 days later, we've reached these ranks and we're done. There's going to be personal growth that happens. There's going to be all of those, like I said, spike strips, road bumps, speed bumps along the way, potholes. And I like to look at those things, and we'll talk about this a little bit towards the end, but I like to look at those as tests that come in front of us to say, how bad do you really want this? How solidified is your vision? How much time have you taken to really cast out and map out and paint out and visualize what it is you are dreaming of and yearning for your own life, but also for others? So we know that people come in to Young Living for a variety of different things. Some people come in for the friendships, the beautiful relationships that are made. Some people come in because there is that opportunity to either get their products paid for or maybe start to earn some income. Other people are here because they just love helping others, and they shared their link not even knowing what was going to happen, and they kind of accidentally got that first paycheck, right? But as time moves on, if we're being intentional, our vision does have an opportunity to grow and evolve. So when I first set my vision, I remember just simply wanting to just to make like a couple $100, really. Just wanted to maybe help with like the groceries. And I remember getting out my notebook and writing out what my current reality was. It was a very powerful exercise, which I'm going to take you through, and what my preferred reality was. So I was looking at things like my time, my bank account, my friendships, how purposeful I felt being like basically a stay-at-home mom with my 3 kids. At the time I had 2, with a third on the way. So I really started to analyze those things, and I realized that there were some things that I was yearning for. Some were like material, and others were more things that you really can't put like a finger on or a quantity to, like purpose and community, and just having that feeling of really being able to step up and help people. So one thing that I've noticed is as I've grown and as my own business has grown, each rank that I've reached, yes, each rank we reach, we do have more money coming in, right? So it's been able to allow me to reevaluate the vision and shift the vision and change the vision. So the vision that you set today in 2020 might look much different than it does even 6 months from now, and certainly different than 2021 and 2025 and 2030. I know that's crazy to like think that far ahead, but visions do change over time. And when we create almost like mini visions within the larger vision, we might find that we start to check off some of those items on our vision list. And if you are somebody that has a growth mindset and somebody who is looking to not only change your own life, but the people around you, you're going to continue to raise the bar. Once you hit a goal, once you reach a milestone, once you've achieved part of that vision, do we just keep it there, or do we expand it and do we revisit it? So for those of you that have already done this exercise with me, because I have done this up on stage at a few of the Boston events before, I invite you to take a look at it again. I invite you to, with an open heart and an open mind right now, really take a look at your current reality and your preferred reality, and if there's a difference between the two. So we have some really, really awesome tools to help us craft this unshakable vision, all right? Pull them out. So I'm going to ask you to do that right now if you have any oils nearby. For envisioning, just a couple that I jotted down, and I'm just putting a little white Angelica on right now because I absolutely adore white Angelica, and that bottle is running low. It didn't drip out quite as nicely as a full bottle, but think about some of our oils that we can use for envisioning. Envision, higher unity, into the future, transformation. What are some other ones that you love? I'm thinking I even have some of my favorites over here, like Sacred Mountain, right? Maybe you know that you're holding on to some things that aren't helping you envision what you're really here on this planet to do. So maybe you need to pull out something like release. So I ask you to look at that first and foremost. Really look at which oils can you use to help relax your energy, ground your energy, get clear. Maybe it's clarity, right? Maybe it's some of the oils from the starter kit. But to really get clear and release what no longer serves so that you can take the time to craft this vision. So before I take you through this exercise, Why? Why is it worth crafting a vision? Why is it important to really get this down? Well, you are going to hit these speed bumps and roadblocks and spike strips along the way. I guarantee that. And I've always looked at these obstacles that come in front of us as like little tests saying, how badly do you really want this? Because there's a great quote from one of my favorite authors and speakers, John C. Maxwell, and it's everything worthwhile is uphill. So think about that for a second. If it's worthwhile, it is going to be work along the way. We know that walking uphill can be a little bit more difficult, especially if we're, pushing something too, than walking downhill. And walking downhill has its own set of challenges, but everything worthwhile is uphill. And that, for me, that goes for everything. That goes for the relationship with my children. It takes work to make sure all of the children are being cared for and getting what they need. It takes intention to make sure that my marriage is being tended to properly, right? It takes vision and focus to make sure that I have time carved out each day to work on my Young Living business, right? And especially now during this time when we're not within an arm's reach of people, I know that it takes intention and time to make sure I'm carving out time to keep the relationships in my life strong with my family, with my friends. So everything worthwhile is uphill. When these obstacles come in your way, and I'll talk about them after we go through this exercise, just a few that I've noticed over the years, and some that could come up. The question is, are you going to be stopped in your tracks? Or are you going to revisit your vision so that you're able to remind yourself why you're doing this? Why is this important to you? And you're important, and my important, and his important, and her important are not going to be identical. So, the name of the game here isn't to copy your upline's vision. It's not to feel like you need to be a certain way because you see certain leaders in the company doing that. You need to get clear on this for yourself as a gift for your future, right? Setting an unshakable and crafting a beautiful vision today is going to lay the groundwork for the future, so that when the going gets tough and the obstacles start to fly in front of you, because I promise you they will, you are able to go back to why. Why is this important to you? Okay, so I invite you all to put your feet flat on the ground. Just get comfy here for a second. And I would like you to put on a couple of those oils that will help you envision and dream. Oh, Dreamcatcher would be an awesome one. I just thought of that one. I'm just putting on a little peace and calming here because it's in front of me. Northern Lights Black Spruce would be another beautiful one. Okay, put your feet flat on the ground. You can close your eyes, and I'm going to walk you through a little exercise here. So we're going to start out by taking 3 really nice, deep, grounding breaths. Let's do that together. Just release and let go. And go ahead and take another nice, deep inhalation through the nose. And out, either through the mouth or nose. Sometimes I like the breath out of the mouth to just really it out and really let it go. And our last grounding breath. And let those oils do their thing for you. Okay, so I want you to keep your eyes closed, and I'd like you to think about the time you have in your life, the quality of time. Now, I realize that doing this today in the middle of a pandemic is going to be just a touch different than if you did this 6 months ago or 6 months from now. But just think about time in general. I'm going to ask you a few questions. Is time your own, or are you being dictated by somebody else's time schedule? What is your current reality of time? Do you get to choose Do a little assessment here. What time you wake up, what time you go to sleep, what time you work, how much time you work. Let's imagine a couple months ago when we were all free to travel. Is time your own in terms of can you take time off when you want to? Do you have the ability to freely take a vacation or go see some family and spend unlimited time without a constraint? So I want you to think about that for a moment. Let's move into your ability to give and bless others. Think about your current reality right now, today, on this day, in this present moment. How freely are you able to give to others? If you found out someone was in need, if somebody was hurting, if somebody needed support, whether it was financial support or time support or physical support, whatever it may be, how freely are you able to give and bless others right now? If you found out that somebody, needed, let's say, groceries or needed Young Living products or was really in a crisis and needed help. Or let's think about your most favorite, near and dear, valued charity. Assess that for a moment before we move on. If you were going to open up your checkbook to write a check out to your most cherished charity, what would that number be able to be today? So let's talk about finances for a moment. I want you to think about what's in your bank account right now. What is the current situation of that? With no judgment, just what is that situation? Is there debt? Does the account have what you need in it? Does it not? Again, try not to attach an emotion to this, just is what it is today. Now I want you to take a nice deep breath, eyes closed still, and I want you to think about how well you care for yourself. How freely, in terms of time and energy, and maybe the money that it takes, and more importantly, the time that it takes to care for yourself. Amazing self-care, which involves physical self-care, emotional self-care, time to ourselves, self-care. What is the current state, your current reality when it comes to self-care? Can you indulge in certain services and certain things that you, your spirit, your mind, your body need on a regular basis? Take a moment right now to think about your family and your friends. Pandemic aside, are you able to spend time with them? Are you able to see them? Are you able to bless them? If you found out that a family or a friend was in need, what is the current situation of that? And I know this is a little bit unique because we are going through a unique time right now. But do your best to work through those in your mind. Okay, so what I'm going to ask you to do in your notebooks, I hope as you're going through this event, you are taking notes. I'd like you to take a piece of paper and I'd like you, open your eyes, I'd like you to just draw a line right down the middle. All right. And on this side here, okay, on this left-hand side, I'd like you to jot down, just going to give you like a minute right now to jot down some of those thoughts. Okay. And just to jog the memory, we talked about our time, we talked about our finances, we talked about self-care, our ability to give freely to others, the amount of time and blessings we can give family and friends. So just take a moment here to connect with your current reality today in May of 2020. Just just going to give you a moment. And I'll just put on a little bit of relaxing music while we're waiting, so this isn't totally awkward. But I do want you to take this time. You're here, you've set it aside. So please go ahead and jot down that current reality. Trying to get the music up for you. Quiet works too. My internet isn't working. That's fine. So just another 30 seconds. And label the top of that list current reality, okay? Current reality. Okay, I'm going to ask you part 2 of our exercise. You could always go back to this if you need a little bit more time. Is we're going to now think about our preferred reality. We're going to take a minute to vision. So if you have not put on the oils yet, I hope you have. Please take out your oils that are helping you to really envision your preferred, idealistic reality. Now, before we sink into this, it's important for me to remind you that we're not going to block in this moment our vision with doubts, with fears, with insecurities, with what ifs. So we are talking in an absolute perfect, ideal vision for you. Again, it's going to look a little different than everybody else's because you are unique and you are special. So, okay, so think about this for a second. If you notice that these doubts start to come into your mind right now and you say, well, wait, that's not going to happen. That's not crafting a vision. We'll work through, that's mindset, and that's for another talk. So I really want you to be as real and raw as you can be with yourself right now, and put down your absolute ideal preferred reality. If fear, if time, if money, if objections, if all the roadblocks didn't even exist. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to close your eyes again. You're going to take a nice deep breath and reground and center. Put on a little bit more oil here. As much as I'm recording this right now to nobody, I still know that a lot of people are going to be watching this, so it makes me nervous. Okay, so let's dive in. We're going to take a couple deep breaths, close the eyes. And let's think about time. What does time look like in our preferred reality? When do we wake up? When do we go to sleep? How are we using our time in our absolute preferred reality? Let's move into the ability to give freely to others, to our top charities, to our loved ones, to our friends and our family. What does it look like in our preferred reality when we are able to take that checkbook out and write a check out to our absolute dream foundation or organization? What is the size of that check? What does that look like? What does it look like if we are freely being able to give to others and to bless others? What are some of the things you'd be actually doing? Jot those down or think about them, and we'll take a minute to jot those down afterwards. I want you to just really envision this for a second. All right, let's think about self-care. What are you doing? Let's just put the pandemic aside because that's going to go away eventually. What are we doing for ourselves? How often are we taking the time to go get a massage, receive body work? Are we working out? Are we exercising? Are we caring for our body? Remember, time, money, objections, they don't exist. So what does your absolute most beautiful vision look like when we're taking care of ourselves? What does it look like if we're taking care of our homes? Are we the ones that are taking care of our homes? Have we finally reached a place where we can maybe bring in some help so that we can then in turn relax emotionally, because we're not the ones that have to be, scrubbing the floors. I don't know what your vision is, but just take a minute to think about that. Your self-care. How are you caring for yourself? How are you caring for your home? What does that look like in your absolute preferred reality? And quite frankly, you could be somebody that says, doesn't matter how much money I make one day, doesn't matter how much time I have, I will always be the one to clean my home. Some people love cleaning their home. So again, there's no attachment here. But what does that look like? Okay. Let's take a minute to look at the finances. What does the bank account look like? Is there debt? Is the debt paid off? Are the loans paid off? What is the number in your preferred reality when you open up that app on your phone for your banking? What are you seeing there in this vision? And what about your family and friends? Spending time with them, being around them. How can you bless them? What does that look like in your preferred reality? What would you be able to do for your most beloved circle in your absolute most beautiful preferred reality? Okay, so if you haven't already, you can see how we could go on and on. Go back to your list with your paper and pen, and you're going to write your preferred reality down over here. Now, you can do this every 3 months, 6 months, just simply by checking in on some of the key components of your life. All right. Check in and ask yourself, what is the current reality? And then you ask yourself, what is my preferred reality? All right. Now, I want to give you a couple of examples. I remember when I started this, I dreamed because I just have body tension. I dreamed of being able to, once, the bills were paid off and I was able to give and take care of kind of everyone, that I would be getting a massage once a week. That has been on my vision list forever. It seemed so out of reach. But I knew that was something that it just seemed so luxurious and so extra. But I knew what it would do to help me as a mom and as a businesswoman and as a wife. And so that was something that had been on my list for years and years, because there was a time when I sat down to do this. My current reality was maybe I would get a massage when I got a gift certificate for my birthday, once a year. So to be able to, over many, many, many years, transform, I get a massage once a year when I get a birthday gift card, to I am able, because of time, because of finances, because of whatever I've created, right? And I'm not making any broad income claims here saying that if you do this, you'll be able to get a massage every week. I'm just saying, because of the path that I personally have chosen to take over the course of the last, many years, and just different decisions that I've made, I've created that preferred reality. And other things have really changed for my preferred reality as well. There was a time I wasn't able to give in the way I wanted to give, in the way I wanted to help others. That's probably one of my most enjoyable ones that's really transformed when I go back and look at that very original current reality and what I was dreaming of. Okay. So what are some of the things that are going to pop up along the way that are just there to test you? How badly do you really want this? Okay. Because we have to understand, guys, network marketing and building a business with Young Living, it's not easy. It's simple in that, we use our products, we share with people that are ready to listen, we help them get started, and, in a perfect world, they're going to do the same, right? And this is how the team duplicates and multiplies. So the theory of it is simple in reality, right? It's simple, but it's not easy. And why isn't it easy? Well, I'm just speaking from personal experience. There are going to be people that are going to tell you what you're doing is crazy. There's going to be people that don't have the ability to dream the way you dream because they've never been taken through this exercise, or they've never been given permission to dream and envision. And so usually those people are the very first people to try to smush and crush your dreams. There are people out there, beware of them. I call them vision crushers. They exist. And they don't mean it to be a jerk. They're not out there to crush vision after vision after vision. They don't even have the vision themselves. So it has happened to me. You will have people around you, friends, family, that will poo-poo what you're doing. They will try to stall you or stop you. Now, depending on your own personal growth level and your own mindset, that might just be like a little speed bump, okay? Could be a little speed bump. You might have a friend, a family member, or something else out in your community, that someone that legitimately, I know this is hard to like admit, but, or even like conceptualize, you very well might have someone that you thought was going to be your biggest supporter on this journey come in and purposely try to sabotage you. Wild, right? Why would somebody who loves us or is supposed to support us, our maybe closest family or friends, why would they ever be working to sabotage us? Well, typically people that don't have the inner belief themselves, they don't want to see people around them rise up. They would rather keep you comfy and cozy in the little world that they live in. And, let's just say like a brother or a sister, okay? Let's just use that as an example. You guys are like raised in the same home. You probably come from very similar belief systems. And so all of a sudden you catch this vision and you're like, you know what? I have a 10-year plan. I'm here in my current reality today, but my goodness, I just found a vehicle that I believe can take me from my current reality to my preferred reality. And I'm going for it. And you know what? That brother or sister, they like you with them. They don't want to see you rise. They don't want to see you soar. They don't want to see you grow wings. So there are people out there, guys, the dream crushers, that are really going around with big choppers and they're chopping wings so you can't fly. And you're going, and I know some of you are sitting here nodding because you've experienced this, and you're going to have people that are intentionally sabotaging you. You're going to find situations that maybe more on like a subconscious level are trying to sabotage you. Do you know you might, because maybe the growth hasn't happened yet, you might even be sabotaging yourself. You might be accidentally throwing your own spike strips in the road so that your tires pop. But one thing I assure you is the journey from here to here is an uphill journey. And you are going to need to, number one, create this unshakable vision so that when the going gets tough, when a best friend accidentally signs up with a blogger, guys, I've had it all happen, and not sign up with you, or someone gets even worse, like poached from your team. I mean, I know, this is not supposed to be happening, but we all know that these things happen, right? Someone switches teams. Somebody you've been talking to for quite some time, cultivating a relationship with, you're sure they're going to sign up with you. All of a sudden they sign up with someone else. These things could potentially stop you in your tracks because there are things that are going to happen that are going to have you feeling so down to the point it might even bring you to tears. It's a matter of you being able to be so clear on your vision that when these things happen, we work through it, we use our oils, we breathe it out, we release it, we go for a run, we talk to a friend, we talk to a therapist, we talk to a business coach, we talk to a mentor, we work through it, and then we pick up and we keep going. And I will assure you, and I promise you that it's all of these roadblocks and spike strips and potholes and everything in between, all of these obstacles that come in your way that are just testing you and are there to really pose as a question to say, how badly do you want this? How important is your preferred reality? If you don't take the time to craft the preferred reality, if you don't take the time to get clear on your current reality, how do you know what it is you're yearning for, what it is you're dreaming of, what it is you're envisioning so that you can go? So my wish for all of you, and I just want to check my notes to make sure I covered everything here. Okay, my wish for all of you is that you create this unshakable vision, that you create a preferred reality that during the hard times, during the storms, during the spike strips that get thrown, whether you're throwing them yourself by accident or someone else is throwing them on the way in front of you, that you know why you're here. Is it the products? Maybe. Is it the purpose? Maybe. Is it the income potential? Maybe. Is it a combination of everything? Maybe. But that's for you to figure out, and that's for you to design. So your call to action today, okay? I don't want you to keep your preferred reality a secret. It is important to share it with somebody. So your call to action is to reach out to a cross-line friend that you can run with, a mentor, someone trusted, and I want you to begin to share, this is where my current reality is, but this is my preferred reality, and I am willing to do what it takes to weather the storm, to hop over the speed bumps, to hop over the holes in the road, to pump air back in the tires when you've been spike stripped, that you are willing to do what it takes to pick up, dust yourself off, and keep going. Because if the vision isn't crafted, if the vision isn't solidified, if the vision isn't strong, it's really easy to quit. It's really easy to walk away. And I've seen it happen time and time again. And it breaks my heart because I know that so many people are cut out for this. If they would be willing to do some of the personal development and work and get really clear on why they're here and why they want this and what they envision for other people. Because you have to remember that network marketing isn't a vehicle to just change our own lives. The only way we rise is by helping others. The only way we create a star is to help a few people open up an account and get started, or maybe like one big order, right? The only way we create a senior star is by helping a bunch of people that are part of that senior stars team get started and maybe share with others. So by the time you're executive, silver, platinum, diamond, I think I missed gold in there, you're not just changing your own life, you are touching the lives of so many people around you. Okay, so your call to action, and this has been a really nice time that I've spent with you, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Your call to action is to find somebody to share your current reality and your preferred reality. And together, I want you to devise an action plan to move forward one little baby step at a time. We're not moving mountains overnight, but to devise an action plan and an accountability plan with one another, so that when the going gets tough, your buddy is able to say, but you told me your current reality was this and your preferred reality was this. Has that changed? Let's get you back on track. All right. We need to be there for one another, guys, because the going is going to get tough. And it's so nice to have that accountability partner. Maybe it's an upline, maybe it's a crossline, so that you can be a mirror for that person to be able to say, well, you told me that this is what your vision was. Has that changed? And if it hasn't, let's dust off, figure out what we can shift, evolve, adapt, and keep going. Okay, so my wish for you is that you can create, and you do create, a beautiful vision that propels you into action to make a difference in the lives around you and your own life in the process. Okay, wonderful spending time with you today. And you can find me on social media. I look forward to talking to you in the future, and I'm really excited to get back to some in-person events when all of this blows over. So lots of love to all of you. Make today count, and I'm really excited to hear about your visions and what you're crafting. Bye, everyone.